Night City, a city that pulses with life, yet feeds on the dreams it destroys. In its shadowy alleys and neon-lit streets, people make choices that echo for a lifetime, or end one. With Cyberpunk 2077, PhantomLiberty, CD Projekt. Red delivers a story that takes everything we loved about the base game and amplifies it tenfold. This video takes you on a deep dive into PhantomLiberty's narrative, the most intricate, gripping, and morally challenging moments. From V's battles with their own identity to the enigmatic world of Solomon Reed and the dark secrets of Dogtown, this expansion pulls no punches. Be prepared to question your choices, your alliances, and even your own humanity. This is not just a story, it's an experience. Let's begin with V and Johnny Silverhand, a relationship that is equal parts partnership and rivalry. In PhantomLiberty, this dynamic reaches new heights as their shared journey takes darker, more personal turns. From the very start, Johnny's presence in V's mind is more than just a ghostly echo. It's a constant voice of doubt, a critic, and at times, an unwelcome conscience. One of the earliest scenes in PhantomLiberty sets the tone perfectly. V, determined to take on a mission that promises high risks and even higher rewards, is met with Johnny's scathing disapproval. Johnny, with his signature cynicism, warns V about the consequences, calling the mission a death wish. But beneath the sarcasm, there's something more, a genuine concern, almost hidden by his usual bravado. This isn't just Johnny being Johnny. It's a moment where his humanity peeks through the cracks of his rebellious exterior. As the story unfolds, these moments of tension become more frequent. V, torn between their own ambitions and the reality of their situation, finds themselves clashing with Johnny at every turn. In one particularly gripping scene, V makes a choice that Johnny vehemently opposes. Their argument escalates, with Johnny accusing V of being reckless and selfish. The air between them becomes thick with resentment, but there's also an underlying layer of trust, a reluctant understanding that, despite their differences, they're in this together. These moments aren't just filler, they're the emotional backbone of the expansion. They remind us why Cyberpunk's narrative feels so personal. V and Johnny's relationship is messy, unpredictable, and raw, just like the world they inhabit. By the time the credits roll, you'll feel like you've been through hell and back with these two. Enter Solomon Reed, one of PhantomLiberty's most enigmatic and complex characters. From the moment he steps onto the screen, Reed commands attention. His presence isn't just a matter of authority, it's the weight of experience, the burden of countless decisions made in the shadows, and the scars of a life lived in service to something bigger than himself. Reed's introduction begins in a dimly lit room, a safe house hidden deep within the labyrinth of Dogtown. The camera slowly pans across the room, a table covered in scattered documents, maps with red lines connecting points, and a small, flickering holo projector displaying grainy surveillance footage. The atmosphere is thick with tension, the kind that settles in when you're about to make a choice that will change everything. Reed is seated at the table, his fingers rhythmically tapping against a data shard. His face is partially obscured by the shadows, but the faint glow of a neon sign outside outlines his silhouette. His eyes, sharp and calculating, flicker to the door as it creaks open. V steps inside, hesitant but resolute, and their eyes meet for the first time. Reed's voice is deep, calm, and steady, but there's a sharpness to it, a tone that carries authority without demanding it. He doesn't waste time with pleasantries. "You must be V," he says, his gaze unwavering. "I've read your file. Impressive, if not unconventional." The conversation that follows sets the stage for everything to come. Reed speaks in measured tones, his words chosen with care, but there's an undercurrent of urgency. He explains the mission, an intricate web of espionage, betrayal, and high-stakes diplomacy. Every word feels like it's carrying the weight of 100 unsaid truths, and you can't help but hang on to every syllable. But Reed is not just a man of words. The scene transitions to a flashback, a glimpse into his past. We see him in the field, a younger version of himself, navigating a war-torn city. The sound of gunfire echoes in the background as Reed, clad in tactical gear, leads a small team through crumbling alleyways. His decisions are swift and decisive, saving lives but leaving a trail of moral ambiguity in their wake. The flashback fades, and we're back in the safe house. Reed's expression hardens as he leans forward, his voice lowering to a near whisper. "This mission isn't just about survival, V," he says, locking eyes with them. "It's about trust. I need to know you're ready to make the hard choices, the kind that keep you up at night. Because once you're in, there's no going back." V doesn't respond immediately. The camera lingers on their face, capturing the flicker of doubt and determination that passes through their eyes. Finally, they nod, sealing their fate. Reed stands, extending a hand. "Welcome to the team." The handshake is firm, a silent agreement between two individuals who know the stakes better than anyone else. As the scene fades to black, you're left with a lingering sense of anticipation. This isn't just the beginning of a mission, it's the start of something much bigger. Dogtown is not just a location, it's a living, breathing character within PhantomLiberty. As V and Solomon Reed leave the confines of the safe house, the camera cuts to a sprawling aerial view of Dogtown. The district is a chaotic tapestry of dilapidated skyscrapers, neon-lit alleyways, and bustling markets. The air is thick with a haze of smog, illuminated by the flickering lights of countless advertisements competing for attention. The soundtrack swells with a blend of electronic beats and distant street sounds, shouting vendors, the hum of motorbikes, and the occasional crackle of gunfire. This is a place where life and death coexist in a fragile balance, where opportunity and danger walk hand in hand. Reed leads V through the streets, weaving past crowds of people. Every corner tells a story. An augmented man selling cybernetic implants from a makeshift stall, a group of children playing with an old drone in a back alley, and a lone musician strumming a battered guitar under a graffiti-covered wall. The world feels alive, and every detail pulls you deeper into its reality. Their destination is a small cafe, tucked away at the edge of the district. The exterior is unassuming, but inside, it's a hive of covert activity. The patrons are a mix of mercenaries, fixers, and informants, each lost in their own whispered conversations. Reed exchanges a brief nod with the owner, who gestures towards a booth in the back. As they sit, Reed begins to outline the plan. His voice is low, almost drowned out by the murmur of the cafe, but his words carry weight. "Dogtown is a powder keg," he says, "and we're about to light the fuse." The scene ends with a close-up of V's face, their expression a mix of anticipation and unease. The stakes are high, and the line between ally and enemy has never been blurrier. In the dim glow of the cafe, Reed produces a small hollow projector from his jacket pocket. As he activates it, a three-dimensional map of Dogtown materializes above the table. The map is a labyrinth of streets and structures, with key locations highlighted in glowing red. "This is our battlefield," Reed says, pointing to a heavily fortified building near the center of the map. "Our target is buried deep within this facility, an Arasaka black site masquerading as a corporate headquarters. It's one of their most secure installations, and for good reason." Reed's tone grows darker as he explains the significance of their objective. A classified AI prototype designed to control entire networks of autonomous drones. If Arasaka succeeds in deploying it, they'll have an unprecedented advantage in global warfare. The camera shifts to V, who leans closer to the projection. "And how do we stop them?" they ask. Reed smiles faintly, though it's devoid of humor. "That's where things get tricky," he admits. He proceeds to outline the mission in painstaking detail: infiltration routes, guard patrol schedules, and the location of key access points. Every piece of intel feels like a puzzle piece falling into place, but the full picture is still shrouded in uncertainty. As Reed finishes, he locks eyes with V. "This isn't just another job," he says, his voice heavy with conviction. "This is the kind of mission that defines you. Succeed, and you'll save lives. Fail, and the cost will be immeasurable. The camera lingers on the hollow projection as the scene transitions, its glowing red markers a stark reminder of what's at stake. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the gripping story of PhantomLiberty. If you're as excited as we are about exploring Dogtown and uncovering its secrets, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more epic gaming content. Let us know in the comments. What choices would you make in this high-stakes world? Will you risk it all for the truth? Until next time, stay sharp, and we'll see you in Night City.